Is the Holdovers any good? Let's find out right now.
Do not cross the Rubicon.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. Today I'll be reviewing the Holdovers. I was lucky enough to see this like 2 weeks early. Before we get started, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 500 subscribers, but I'm going to read a quick synopsis right now. A mean and grumpy instructor at the New England prep school remains on campus during Christmas break to babysit a handful of students with nowhere to go. He soon forms an unlikely bond with a brainy but damaged troublemaker and with the school's head cook. Before I get into more details on this film, I gotta just tell you, I love this film so much. This is probably going to be an annual Christmas watch for me because this is like a new Christmas movie, and I will say it is doing a terrific job at being a Christmas movie. It of course takes place over a Christmas break about these holdovers that have to stay at school. 2-week Christmas break back in the 70s, and you know, it really just felt like a Christmas movie with all the snow. There's the feel of the movie, the Christmas music, all the like the trees and all that, just the lights. Oh, I just love this movie. I love the feel of it. It just felt like a comfort movie, you know. It felt like a movie that we haven't gotten in a long time, and it felt like a movie that we needed, but maybe not at this time because I saw it in October. I can't wait to rewatch it the end of November, December. I'll probably watch it a couple more times this year, but if you were to pick a movie or 2 movies to watch in November, I gotta say pick this one please, because it probably needs the money because it probably won't make a lot, and its quality is just up there. Alexander Payne did an excellent job with this movie. But let's get to the cast. So we all know Paul Giamatti is the main star of this movie, and he has such a funny kind of role in this movie and such a sad kind of role in this movie, but he is just excellent. I loved his performance. Probably my second favorite leading actor performance this year, because Cillian is still my favorite, but Paul Giamatti is coming in second. I would place him over Leonardo DiCaprio for this like Oscar race, and I think Paul Giamatti is easily a front runner for that best actor Oscar. So yeah, I love him here. You know, I haven't seen him in too many other major stuff. I've never seen an Alexander Payne movie before this. I don't think so, but I know he's in a couple other Alexander Payne movies. He's actually in like my favorite Christmas movie of all time, which is a Fred Claus. I just love that movie a lot. I love him as Santa in that movie. He's great. But basically what I knew Paul Giamatti from when I was a kid was Amazing Spider-Man 2 as the Rhino. That just was a hilarious role for him. It probably did kind of ruin his career just a little bit, but you know, it's back on track. He's in some fantastic stuff. I also had to watch the John Adams kind of short series when I was in school in history when I was in high school. Such an interesting series for him, but he knocked it out of the park with that. But man, I think this is easily up there with some of his best roles, because this is easily one of his best movies that he's done. Alexander Payne did an amazing job. You know, I heard Alexander Payne, he did a Downsizing with Matt Damon. I heard that one's terrible. I'm actually going to give that one a watch in November because I've never seen it. So I actually want to see if that one's that bad, but I do want to dig more into Alexander Payne's work because this is just fantastic. But as I said, I think you know, Paul Giamatti, he does so well here. His character is like a mean old grumpy man, but you know, you get to really like him by the end. Dominic Sessa plays Angus in this, the one main student in this film, and I didn't know this before I went in this, but this is Dominic Sessa's first role in a movie or TV show, and holy crap, he just stood out so well in this movie. He did so well. You know, sometimes you go into a movie and you see this actor and you're like, are they really an actor? They're not really doing that well. And you see, oh, it's their first time, and you're like, oh, you cut him some slack. But Dominic Sessa really did an amazing job. I was blown away with what he did. His emotional scenes landed so well, especially at the end. You know, a lot of people in my theater were tearing up. I was this close to tearing up because it was pretty sad. You know, there are some pretty, you know, sad moments in this one, but it does bring you back up near the end. Divine Joy Randolph plays Mary, which is basically the cook of the film, like I said in the intro. And you know, Divine Joy Randolph, I haven't seen her in a lot of other stuff, but she was simply fantastic here. The 3 leading performances here are just so great, so fantastic, some of the best of the year. Divine Joy Randolph is easily going to get nominated for Best Supporting Actress. I think she's my favorite to win so far, my front runner here. I don't know, I haven't seen a lot of other supporting actress performances this year. Dominic Sessa, I don't think he's going to get in because supporting actor is so tight this year, so packed. But if he did get in, you know, surprisingly, I wouldn't be mad because he just was excellent. You know, he's a newcomer. I hope he gets booked and busy after this because I was just blown away by him. But, you know, this trio just they were electric together. Their chemistry landed very well, and I just loved every scene that they were all in together. And I'm not going to talk about too many details of this film. There's not a lot of spoilers, but I kind of want you guys to, experience this film for yourself. But as I said when I was first explaining it, this film has that 70s feel, it has that 70s grain. It just feels like a classic movie with a simple story that's trying to sell the emotional themes of it. And the school environment of this movie was just so exciting and so interesting for me because I just graduated high school about 2 years ago, left school, and it just reminded me so much of school. Even though I didn't really live in the 70s, didn't go to school in the 70s, just reminded me about going to school, taking those finals before Christmas break, and then going on 2-week Christmas break. So interesting. As I said, it feels like a Christmas movie. And you have this grumpy history teacher, and I have had my share with some grumpy teachers, especially one grumpy history teacher. But you got to know, just like in this movie, that these teachers, you're kind of having a hard time at school. School is a pretty hard job, and they do have a heart inside there, so don't be rude to them. Like some of the people in this movie, they're kind of rude to their teachers. They have feelings too. Teachers know that students have feelings too. So it's just very interesting how this just reminded me of my schooling. Even though I didn't go to school during the 70s, there's still a lot of similarities about school nowadays and through the 70s and how teachers act. But I just love the school aspect of this, and just the 2-week break of Christmas break. Just the Christmas feels were just really in it for me. And I just love a movie that takes place during Christmas. I just love a movie that takes place during the snowfall. It's just so exciting. But we talked about being exciting enough. We got to talk about the sad, because this movie is really sad. There are a lot of emotional levels to this film that I wasn't really prepared for. I knew it was going to be funny, pretty, exciting, pretty interesting, because like the snow aspect, school aspect, Christmas aspect, but I didn't think it was going to be this sad. But it was very sad, especially with Paul's character, Paul Giamatti. He was the teacher. His character had a lot of sad themes about him, but it's also very sad with Angus and Mary, and they all just affect each other in many different ways. They all try to comfort each other during this hard time, because the only 3 really in the school. The janitor's also in the school, and there are many different themes of this movie of sadness. You have loneliness with some characters, depression with other characters, and you have grief with Mary the cook here. So I think that these themes, you have a lot of major, complicated themes that get right in this movie. I think they're all handled well. Some of them aren't handled as much as other ones. Some are more in the center, but I think they're all handled well, and I loved every single theme and what they're trying to get across with this movie. And you really start feeling for these characters, especially at the halfway point, because that's when you really start to like them. Because in the beginning, you're not really caring for Paul or Angus at all, because they really shut people out and they have mean ways of talking to people. They basically have no filter at all during the beginning of the film. But you soon figure out that they have flaws too. They've been hurt and they just feel really alone. That's where like the loneliness factors in. They're having hard times in their own life and they're just trying to get through it. And it's very hard for these characters. They're very complicated characters, but you try to feel for them during the halfway point. And then after the halfway point, you kind of start feeling bad for them, but you just start to really like them a lot. That's why I love this film so much, because you start with some complicated characters that you don't like, but by the end you really do love them, and they just feel like such characters that you just want to dig more into and spend more time with by the end of the film. And as I said, by the end, Alexander Payne does an excellent job at lifting the audience back up, emotionally, with a semi-happy ending. But I will say there's a lot of happy moments in this one with our trio of characters. And as I said, this movie is very funny, especially from the trailer. The trailer is hilarious. It sells all the laughs of this film. The sadness is leveled out with a good amount of humor, and it's probably the second funniest movie of the year, even though I wouldn't say it's a straight comedy. But I will say all the jokes landed in this one. Paul Giamatti's delivery is just great. So is Dominic Sessa. And I will say the funniest scene in this movie, just to get you guys prepared, is the gymnasium scene. Whenever a gymnasium scene pops up in this movie, just get ready. It's so funny, especially the 5 minutes after. I absolutely loved that part. I thought it was just so funny. And, I just love this film. This film had so many great moments in it. The feels of this movie, sadness, the themes of it, just the Christmas movie alone. So overall, The Holdovers is easily one of the best movies of the year so far. I saw Anatomy of a Fall this weekend, and then this, I'm having a great weekend so far. I cannot wait to watch this again on November 10th. Just make sure to go catch this one in your cinemas. November 10th or December. I'm gonna try to see it in each month because it's like a Christmas movie. Yeah, it's just it's no, it's a sad film. It's a happy film. It's a funny film with some fantastic Oscar-worthy performances. So try to see this one if you can. But The Holdovers, I'm gonna give it a strong 9 out of 10. On rewatch, I think this could go up even higher. I think it's at my 5 spot in the year so far. And the top 5 is super strong, but this could go to number 4 if I like it a lot on rewatch. I just felt so happy with this movie by the end. It's like a new comfort movie for me. I think a lot of other people like this. It's easily going to please the audiences. So yeah, I really love this film a lot. If you guys enjoyed my review, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.